Missy Lynn, and welcome back to my channel. For those of you who don't know who I am Missy Lynn. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you want to permanently join the Missy Lynn family, all you have to do is hit the subscribe button or click the link down beneath this video. That way you are instantly subscribed and you are part of the Missy Lynn family, and you will never ever miss another upload. So today's video is about strobing makeup, and whenever I hear the term strobing, I instantly think light. So that is exactly what it is. It is basically a new technique on how to define your face. You're basically getting rid of bronzing and contouring and focusing more on enhancing your inner light and just making your face look a lot more youthful. So as you all know, contouring, one, is not for everybody, and two, it can be really complicated. Hence, if you go on Instagram, you will see makeup artists, you know, drawing lines all over their face or their client's face. And for those who are just starting makeup, or those who are just really not into makeup or into the whole contouring scheme, then strobing is for you. So strobing is a little bit different than contouring. As you know, contouring basically comes with highlighting, so you're basically putting dark powders, dark creams all over your face, basically to give yourself a more chiseled, more defined look. And then you have to balance it out by contouring by using a lighter concealer in the places where you would basically want light to attract. Like I said earlier, contouring is not for everybody, including myself. I already have a very prominent cheekbone. I have a more detailed, structured face, so if I contour a little bit too much, I can end up looking very chiseled, very managed, and it can just make my face look really hard and really strong. But I love the way strobing actually enhances my face and I look youthful and radiant. Of course, people have probably been doing strobing makeup for a very long time, and we are just now putting a name to it. So I definitely see this new technique going a long way. And as you can see my face, I did not contour today. Today was my first time strobing, and I'm going to show you guys basically the products that you can use, the products that I use, and basically how I achieved this look for my first time strobing. So the key to strobing is basically just to highlight your face with light and with light only. So basically using a product that will attract light and will give you just that natural, that dewy, fresh face look. So I know for a fact that NYX has a liquid illuminator. Drawer Cosmetics has one. It's the BB Plus Illumination Facial Cream, which I absolutely love. You can mix it with your foundation to get more of a dewy look. You can also use like a pigment. The one I use is Melon Pigment by MAC because it has more of a golden sheen type of feel to it. You can also use like a big highlighter. And if you have the Missy Lynn palette, then you can use the two shades here at the bottom, or you can use the vanilla shade that has more of an iridescent look to it. Another one is the Lauren Geller Illuminator here. This is Gilded Honey. This is really pretty. So as you can see, you can use liquid, you can use a stick formula, you can use a pigment, anything that has more of a sheer type of feel to it as opposed to it being glittery and chunky. You want it to have more of a sheen. Now I know one of the big questions might be what skin type can actually do strobing. So definitely if you have dry skin, strobing is actually really good because it will give you more of a refreshed, more illuminated face. If you have oily skin, don't worry, you can just use a matte foundation and you can mix in like a liquid illuminator into your foundation just to kind of get more of a dewy look. Or if you don't want to mix in the illuminator, you can just use your matte foundation. Avoid putting powder. Just make sure that you prime your face really well. Use your matte foundation and then do the strobing makeup in the areas that will attract light. But I would definitely stay away from like your forehead area because that's the area that will make you look the most greasiest. So I would just really stay away from the areas that you know that you get really oily in. Basically sometimes it's more so the T-zone area, but I would just avoid like putting a lot of illuminator in the forehead area because you will look really greasy. And then of course if you have normal skin, you can use the method, and if you have combination skin, you can definitely use this method, but just make sure that you use the products that will, you know, cater to your face. Now the hardest part about strobing is just making sure that you get a smooth canvas. Now it's not as hard and it's not as complicated as contouring, but you want to make sure that you are placing the highlights the illuminator in the right areas. Like I said, you don't want to look overly greasy, so you want to avoid the areas that will make you look overly greasy if you do have oily skin. If you are a fair to medium tone, I would totally recommend using more of like a champagne color. And if you are like tan to dark, I would totally use golds, rose golds, deeper like bronzy shades, because you don't want your skin to look really ashy. And if you are of a fairer shade, then you don't want to use anything that's too deep, because then you'll start to look like you're wearing bronzer and it'll just look a hot mess. So without further ado, I'm going to show you guys how I achieve my strobing makeup.
So starting off with my Anastasia Beverly Hills Cream Contour Kit, I'm taking the peach shade and I'm going to color correct, basically applying this all over my dark blemishes to perfect my base. And then taking my HD foundation and my BB Plus Illumination Cream, I'm just going to mix the two together so I can get a more dewy finish. Whenever you are strobing, you definitely want a dewy, more refreshed look. So that's why I'm mixing the two together. If you don't want to mix it together, that is perfectly fine. If you prefer more of a matte foundation, do that. But you will have to amp up your highlighting basically. So taking my MAC Pro Concealer in NC42, I'm just going to highlight underneath my eyes. I'm not going to highlight the bridge of my nose or the center of my forehead, because that is where the strobing will come into play. So I'm just going to set it, and I'm going to set my under eye highlight very lightly because I don't want it to look too matte. Going in with Melon Pigment by MAC and using a very heavy hand, I'm going to deposit this color along the highest points of my cheekbones using my Morphe 438 brush. And I love this brush because it places it exactly where I want it. And I'm also going onto the bridge of my nose with my Melon Pigment and the center of my forehead, being that I did not highlight using concealer, and also sweep it along my Cupid's bow. And this is basically strobing. It's very easy, very refreshing. You cannot mess it up.
So that is basically it for my strobing demonstration. If you guys like this video, please be sure to give it a thumbs up. That way I know. And again, if you're not subscribed, please be sure to hit the subscribe button. That way you never miss another upload. So until next time, be you, be beautiful, and I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.